We're starting 1 minute early. End stream. We're on the stream. Good to see you. Thank you, everybody, for coming. This is the beginning part of the show. It's never going to be good. Maybe I should have a joke ready or something. I don't know. Is this light enough? Is this bright enough for us? I think it's bright enough for us. I think it's bright enough for us. I think this is... I think it's a bit, it looks, I can't tell whether you think it's a mess here. Anyway, hi, Lewis. Hi, Claire. I hope you're feeling good today. I'm feeling really, really good today. Thank you for your nice words. And we had a great show yesterday with Patrick. It was all right. It wasn't what people expected, but it was me. It was me. It was enough me. And, you know, and I thought I was, people said that I was all right. I can't tell if I was all right. Hey, Rory, you're not late. I just started a second ago. Hi, Lewis. Glad to see you. Jay Evans, Armitage. We get so many of the same people. That's what's really, really nice. I mean, it is really nice. Yesterday, we had 60 people, which is a record for me, for us, considering I don't know what this show is about, what we're doing. I'm trying to do as little as possible. That's why yesterday we had the name of the show, which was Louis Schaffer. I don't know what we decided, but I decided to call it Louis Schaffer Uncooked. Uncooked. Lucy said it was raw. Louis Schaffer raw and runny. I thought that was good too. There's lots of good ideas. We can go over it again, what we're going to do, what we think we should call the show. I don't even know where the piece of paper is where I wrote down everything. But it's good to see you. Let me just say, are we on here? Are we on? Yeah, are we on? We're on. But I'm doing this. Oh my God, I'm not using screen. I think we're gonna have to. I think we'll have to keep it this way. I think we're gonna have to keep it this way. Hello, Joodles. Hey, Joodles. Hey, Joe. Hey, Simon Arnold. All tuned in. Shanks. Where is Shanks from? Put her under house arrest in my house was one of the funniest bits from the Patrick show last night. That was funny, I think. I mean, she's really nice. She's got a husband, but that's the kind of girl that I like, woman that I like. I mean, I don't know if I say how old she is, but you know, I like that. I like that. You get older. She had a very good sense of humor. She was a Tory. You know what we could talk about. We could talk about the show, which is good. But thank you for remembering that, because I don't remember the things that I say. You were screaming. I don't know if I was screamingly funny, but I did, you know, it's a couple of moments. Let me tell you something. That Patrick guy is a nice guy, is a very, very nice guy. He has me on the show. I should be on the show 3 times a week or something. I mean, it could still be his show. Let me just sit there and say stupid things. I can handle that. And the people who are working at GB News, they're just nice. They're nice people. Really nice. I mean, they're nice people. And I'm really happy to be there. And I mean, their political ideology isn't as extreme as mine is, but whose is? Is yours as extreme as mine? Mine is like off the charts extreme. Hey, Lewis, and all your fans. That's Watanabe. What is Watanabe's music? What does that name come from, Watanabe? When you get a chance, write down what it is. Christopher Harley. Hey, Lewis. So we got everybody growing in the house. I'm doing this on just like a regular. I was using Streamlabs, but my beautiful son is also out of the house today. I mean, he was out of the house yesterday. So this is 2 nights in a row. He's actually out there making money. He's a very hardworking boy. He was raised mostly by his mother. No, that's actually partially true. It's not completely true. Chris Dobson. Hey, Chris. Will GB News let you clip up your bits on PC show? Could drive traffic to your channel, and we don't have to flick through the show so as to avoid listening to Team World contributors. I mean, I should do all of that. This is my problem. As you know, I'm not lazy. I'm lazy. I'm not industrious. According to the Jordan Peterson test, I'm one of the least. I have 1% industriousness. That means 99% of everybody in the world is more industrious than me. I should do all of this. My friend Russ, who was in town, who we can discuss, he was in town, But he says, yeah, you got to put together a show reel. You've got to put together a this and a that. And I don't do it. Do you do it? How hardworking are you people? You know what I'm saying? This is amazing. This is day 11th. I've done this 11 days in a row at 5 o'clock. I mean, not that it's hard work. It's just me talking, and I'm talking to you people, and you're, hi, Shanks. Shanks is in the building. Yay, a round of applause for Shanks. So it's very hard to be hardworking, and I am not hardworking. And maybe I'll get ahead. Maybe I don't need to be hardworking. Maybe I'll be discovered. John Cranston, hi, Lewis. You were fantastic last night on Late Edition. Thank you very much. I mean, I'm glad. You know, I go into these shows, and sometimes I used to be scared. I'm not scared anymore, but I should be scared, because if you're not scared, you're not paying attention. And sometimes I just think to myself, oh, this is all right. It's going to be all right. It doesn't matter if it's bad. If it's bad, I think to myself, okay, it's bad, but I'll get over it. But you got to be afraid. You got to be afraid. Okay. Slumbird is in. Really good. I don't know how many people. We got 40 people already. This is amazing, because we had 60 people yesterday, which is a record number of people on the stream. And then you listen to it. You listen to it later, basically. On I don't know whether this is actually good enough to listen to again, but people do listen to it again. I think it's more interesting. Do you think it's interesting enough? I think Lucy's not going to be here today. She's in the big town. She went into the big town, wherever that is. I don't know I know where it is. Maybe I shouldn't say where it is. I've been trying to make. She's maybe meeting up Russ. Russ got on a plane today. Maybe Russ is meeting her. You can't trust your friends. You can't trust. I'm so jealous. Thomas, 26, loves you. Love you, Lewis. Got your calendar. That is so nice. A round of applause. I've got to set Lewis Schaffer's website up. Lucy Harmon, another beautiful Lucy, who designed the thing and set up everything. I've got to get her to do it. Or I've got to do it myself. I've got to remind myself. I said get her to do it, like I could actually get her to do it. But if somebody, those percentages don't add up. Get industrious with your basic arithmetic. No, it says if you're one, it's not even 1%. It's one on a scale of 1 to 100. If you're one in industriousness, it means that 99% of the people are more industrious than you. And according to that, it's like I got a test I did better than 97% of the people in the New York State Merit Scholarship. And I went to my mother and I told my mother, I got a 97%. And I said, and she understood this because my mother was very well educated. She said that so you did better than 97%. But the 3% that did better than you are the people that you're competing against in life. They're the people who are going to be the absolute top comedians, the top people in every field. So we have to do better than everybody. This is what she said. It was never good enough. And that's why she became a manic depressive, because she expected greatness. She was told she had to be great to bring honor to the family. I shouldn't say she's manic depressive, because it's like... that's what she said she was. She was manic depressive. She was also on a very high carb diet, and that can make you crazy. We're learning so much about Lewis Schaffer. His mother was manic depressive. You can put that on my Wikipedia page. But she was a brilliant woman in a lot of ways. And did not die a happy death. So, who does that? And now I'm going to start to cry. But cheers to my mother. So today is the 20th of June, and here in London, England, Nunhead, in London, England. I've already been into central London to see Russ go off. He's staying in a hotel in right near Covent Garden. Not Covent Garden, what am I saying? Right near Charing Cross train station. I bought one of Frank Sinatra's wigs 14 years ago on auction. Was that expensive? How much would that cost? I have no idea how much that would cost. But he tried to look his best. This is what's happening. I mean, I've got some hair, but you reach a certain age and you got to look your best. Is there anything not caused by carbs, do you think? You want to know something, Joodles? and everybody out there, and this is on my list of things. We want to discuss weight loss, and weight loss and carbs are totally tied together. But if anytime you have a disease, any kind of illness, whether it's skin problems, heart fluttering, whether you're having trouble seeing, Google that illness and the word diabetes. Okay, thank you, Claire. And diabetes. So let's just say you have athlete's feet. What does that have to do with diabetes? And diabetes is all about eating carbs. What does it have to do with diabetes? Just Google athlete's feet and diabetes. Let's say you got plantar fasciitis, another foot problem. Let's say you've got Google arthritis. What about something like dementia? How can that be related to carbs? Google it. Mental illness and carbs. Google it. Okay. You didn't buy it. I thought you were serious. You can't joke with me. I don't have much of a sense of humor, Slumbert. Okay. I never knew he wore a wig. Yes, he wore a wig. You were on top form last night, Lewis. Is Big Steve, Big Fat Steve. Are you still fat, Steve? Lose some weight. Stop being fat. Although Patrick has since lost his hair. No, he hasn't lost his hair. He's got good hair. And he's very handsome. He's got really sharp features. His nose isn't huge like mine. He's Patrick. John Van Dam is back in the house. Afternoon, Lewis. Love seeing you at 5 a.m. Any chance we can have a Chinese Elvis song in future streams? Maybe. You know what? You know, he does shows where he'll sing like other songs as if Chinese Elvis would sing non-Elvis songs. And he's ballsy. He's what I tell him, nobody wants to hear you sing My Way. That's not an Elvis song. That's a Frank Sinatra song, but he does do it. Anyway, so the answer to that question, did I answer your question? Who asked the question? Joodles. Everything has to do with carbs, or most of the things. I would say 95% of our problems have to do with carbs. The theory behind eating carbs is that there's a trade-off. The trade-off is if we're going to live in a cold climate, we need to get fat because we're going to go into hibernating mode. Does that make sense to you? Hibernating mode. And the trade-off with eating carbs, besides getting fat, is we get a bit of the diabetes. Now, diabetes is on a, there's no such thing as like, I have diabetes. The truth is, it's on a scale. Like I was 5.9 on my blood sugar level, and that was high. They don't use 5.9 now. Now I've got 37. So they changed the thing. So any questions? I love the food kind of thing. But so we're going to discuss more weight loss. I want every one of you people, remember who we're fighting out there. We need to be healthy and fit and thin, especially if you want Louis Schaffer to love you. I need you to be thin. I'm practically gay myself, so I need all of you to be thin, to be slender. I don't know if that's the right word. I'm not saying I wouldn't do you if you were a big girl or a guy. No, if you're a big girl, I would do you. But you promise me you're going to work on it. We have 65% of our audience are men. Only 33% are women. I don't know why that is. I don't know why, because I've been called a misogynist. I don't know if I'm a misogynist. I'm afraid of women. I mean, how can you not be? Are you women afraid of other women? I'm afraid of women. I'm afraid of my own mother. My mother became bipolar. She became a manic depressive, and it was very scary. And I'm afraid that you, as a girl, are going to. But that doesn't mean I think you're worse than men. I don't think you're worse than men. I'm just a bit afraid of you. Is that wrong? Did you watch Kill Tony? I haven't seen Kill Tony. Should I write that down? Did I write that down already? Hi, maid. I am still at the hospital, just waiting to get picked up. What happened to you again? I can't remember. I'm so sorry. Kill Tony is a movie, maybe? But what happened to you, Pete's Transport? We don't want to see your whole Pete, Big Steve. No, we don't. But we can all lose weight and we can all be thin. And I've gained a kilo since 2 days ago. I don't know whether you can see whether it's fat, but I don't feel as good. I do not feel as good. And that's the whole idea. We want to be as beautiful as possible as we can be. I know I should shave every single day. I've stopped. Something's happened to me. I don't take care of myself as much as I used to. Basically, we're at 49 people. Thank you for listening and watching, everybody. It's good to watch you. I have cancer, but I'm on the diet. Exactly. Okay. I don't even know what kind of cancer you are. Do you follow this guy called Thomas Seyfried? Seyfried. Seyfried. Pete, because he says that it wasn't that he said it, but it was Warburg who said it, that cancer cells are fed with sugar, basically. It's mostly glucose. So the way you save yourself, okay, you don't shave yourself either. The way you save yourself, Pete, is by going totally keto. Hopefully even fasting if you can fast for a couple of weeks. Water fasting. Hey, Lucy, is Lucy in the house? Hey, Lewis, sorry I'm late. Hey, everybody. Lucy was flirting with my friend Russ. She's like shameless, really. But this is the kind of girl that I attract. The 33% of the people that like me are flirts, are horrible women. Are horrible. The women who like me, maybe that's why I think women are horrible, because the only women that would actually go out with me are horrible. Andrew Graham, Lewis, change the button. Oh, sorry. Is this too much? You think it's too much? He says laugh out loud. We don't hear it enough. We need to be hit in the face. Cancer is caused by sugar. Okay, Lewis, change the bloody. Okay. Hi, Lucy. Jay Evans. Lucy, do you know Jay? Do you live close to Jay? I think Jay lives in the south coast. Okay. Have fasting Muslims have less cancer? Probably they don't, because they fast like during but they eat in the evening and they pig out in the evening. So it's intermittent fasting. And especially if they come from a northern climate, they could be fasting for 16 hours or more, and then they're like so hungry. Hey, Lou. Hey, Bo. How are you? You pronounce your name Bo? Bo. So the answer is, do Muslims probably have way more cancer now because their diet is horrific in most countries. They eat a lot of carbs. They eat, especially today, they eat a lot of carbs. Like the Indians, they've got horrible diets. Horrible diet. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm on this thing. If you were here, I could see your face and I'd move on, but I can't see your face. I can just see your name and I can imagine who you are. I don't even, anyway, well, maybe we should say a prayer. Let's say a prayer for you, Pete. How old are you, Pete? And what are you doing to prevent your what kind of cancer is it? I know we're in England and it's like the Queen, whatever it is, Princess Marilyn, whatever her name is, Princess Elizabeth, whatever her name is, William's wife. She had cancer. She didn't say what she had. We need to look after our lives, Lewis. Yes, we do. We have to care for ourselves because Team World wants us dead. They want to have this. They're supposedly doing people a favor by letting them kill themselves. You can kill yourself now. We just don't go to the doctor to get yourself killed. Don't kill yourself. Stay alive. Evening, Lewis. Couldn't they have put headliners on in the weekends, which wouldn't affect PC's shows? Yeah, they could have done that. I think there was something going on. There was a lot of bad blood. I'm not going to say why there was bad blood. We're moving on for why there was bad blood. I mean, I love the shows that Leo was hosting and that Nick was hosting and that Cressida and Simon, whatever. Flip Lewis, you were brilliant. Flip Lewis, we were brilliant last night, laughing so much. That is so nice to hear. Because as the comedians get older, you think, well, maybe I've lost it. Maybe I'm not as funny because I haven't done any stand-up shows. But I think doing this right now is good for me. I think. So I want to thank you very much. 49 people watching. Thank you very much. Hey, if you can, and you haven't subscribed, can you please subscribe? Most of you have subscribed, which I do appreciate it. Can you also press the thumbs up button? I don't know. It's very important to those people. In it, Bo. I watched it twice. It was that funny. Thank you, Jules. That's really, really nice. Alan Williams says, has Stephen Fry been radicalized? No. Stephen Fry is a gay Jew. Okay. And he doesn't know that the one thing about why people hate Jews, and I'm a Jew, is that Jews can switch sides because we want to be liked. I'm like that way. I like you guys because you like me. If you stop liking me, I would have to find other people to like. If the Nazis like, which maybe they're liking me now, and I think he and also so there are two sides. There's the team globalist side, and they're the side of trans people. They've decided we're going to like trans, and so he has to like trans people. I dislike trans people. It's a bit, I don't dislike them because I know trans people, and we've all dressed up as girls. Who hasn't dressed up as a girl? That's what you girls, that's why men, I love it. Claire loves Jews too. I, uh, you like girls. Being a girl is great. That's why you want to be a girl. Guys think, oh my God, it'd be like amazing to be a girl, just to have guys. That's what's so good about this, because I'm being liked. We all want to be liked. I like you, Claire and Pete and Armitage and Simon and Kevin. I like you. You want to be liked. You want your name mentioned. This is what Dale Carnegie and How to Win Friends and Influence People says, is we want to be liked. So, but it's, unfortunately, maybe it's too much. It's too much to say, I'm a girl, I'm a girl. Who hasn't seen a guy, and just thought, you know what, they're all right if they want to be a girl. Josephus. What about Josephus, the great Jewish Roman historian? What about Josephus? I'm still dressing up as a girl. Yeah, dress up as a girl. And but I think to go around saying we have to call you, and the surgery for the kids, that's so wrong. So I've got 2 boys. I wouldn't want them to do that. Okay. I love Jews, says Big Steve. You don't have to love Jews. Jews have done a lot of bad things, but Jews are on our team. If I hate to speak for a team, even if you're not on that team, we can find common ground. But someone has to fight. I'm on the England team. The Angles, the Saxons, the Jutes, the Cornish, the Kents, the Irish, the Scots, the Picts, the Welsh, the Lancastrians, the Cumbrians, the Newcastlonians, the Georgians, whatever. We need someone to speak for them. So I give you all a round of applause. I mean, I don't like it too much. I wish I was back in New York, where they never appreciate. They maybe if I had stayed there, they would have gotten used to me. The Normans as well, exactly. And you know what? Even Nigerians who move to this country, or Jamaicans, if you love Britain, that's our team. People who live here, they should be asked, do we like the way things are going? But no, you're told you're being a racist, you're being whatever it is, or misogynistic. Am I right? They were not asked, and that's so not nice. And that's why, and I'll tell you something, I don't want to say bad things about the liberals, about the Democrats, about the left-wing people, about the labor, is they're kind of not nice. Why am I talking this way? Because they're nice, they just don't know. And someday they'll know. Someday they'll see Britain having changed so much, and they say, well, why is this happening? Because you didn't ask the people. Hey, Daddy Bannister, thank you for coming again. Lewis, live or replay? Well, we're live right now, aren't we? Live, Lewis and friends. Exactly. Well, hi, Lewis and friends. I hope you're my friend. If you see me in the street, I mean, I wouldn't talk to me because I'm Louis Schaffer. How dare you talk to Louis Schaffer? How dare you? You could talk to me. I would talk. Claire, I would talk to. Bro, you know that I love you. Thank you, Daddy Bannister. Where are you from again? Everybody should say where they're from, so I know. Well, Olive, what does that mean? Anyway, so I was on the show last night. What was the show called? The show was called Late Edition with Patrick Christie. And I will tell you what I like about him. He's a good host. He's a very, very good host. He listens to me, If I see you in the street, I'll be most surprised. I think you would be surprised. I mean, I saw the guy who was on the show with me, Matthew, on the street, and I dodged him, and he dodged me because it was so weird. It's like, wait, weren't you on the same show as me? And he was very nice guy. Very nice guy. I think he's gay too. He's gay too. I'm not against being gay. If you want to be gay, you can be gay all you want to. It's not a sin against God. But we need, number one, as I've said in every single show, there's one of those things. We need children in this country. And also, women need to be loved. And if you're gay as a guy and you're not loving a woman, you're making that woman not happy. And we need to make women happy, because when women aren't happy, you don't want the trouble. I've seen trouble when you don't have enough sex with a woman. I know what women feel like when you're not giving them attention. So if you knew me, you'd say, Lewis, that's not like you. You're horrible with women. Yes, I am, but at least I know what I need to do. And I know what I need to do now, which is you have to love women. And you know something, for women, you have to love men too. Men want to be loved. We get so little love. We're walking down the street. Do you think anybody looks at us and say, hey, Lewis, you're hot? No one does that. Maybe they do that with my friend Russ. But hey, Mark Thorsian, are you Armenian with a name like IAN? Anyway, so that's what we need to do. Homosexual, if you want to be gay in the privacy, if you're on a business trip somewhere and feeling lonely and you need a hug, if your friend Russ comes to town, whatever, you should do that. But you should not make your wife feel unloved. She needs to feel, I can't believe I'm talking like this. We need to love more. That's what the death of love is about. They don't want us to love because they want us to kill each other. Homosexuality, lesbianism, it's not a sin against God. You shouldn't be killed. We shouldn't be killed, but we should be loving. Cobb, I'm sorry. Was that a bit extreme? Was that my sounding extreme? Wolf whistle for Lewis. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Lucy. Yeah, you can tell Lucy's got a lot of love in her. And I mean, I tried to be loving with my last girlfriend. I was a bit too loving in my life. Sometimes I just think, oh my God, I love you. I love you. And women don't like that either. You can't be just totally too loving. That's the problem. Especially with women. Men, we need love. You need to say to a guy, I love you, whatever you want to do, I love you. But so that's what I believe in. I believe in love. I mean, I don't practice it. It's like I went over to Russ's house, Russ's expensive house. And there was a box of chocolate there. I said, Russ, can I have the chocolate? I don't know. Can I have a chocolate? All right. I ate the entire box of chocolate. And he says, Lewis, you're a liar. You're always talking about the carbs thing. And you just had an entire tray of Cadbury's chocolate. Okay. And I did. And he called me a liar. And I said, no, I'm not really a liar, because I'm telling you this, that I've done this. That doesn't make it the right thing. And that's what we need to do. We need to try to do the right thing. Daddy Bannister, I tell my wife, 24. Is she 24? 24. I would be loving to you, Claire. Okay, there you go. And I would probably accept it, but not if it takes away from your husband. But okay, you are a liar, and you know it. Is lying the right word? Hi, Chris. How are you? The pink shirt he had on. Talk about signaling. Yeah, he's a New Yorker. New Yorker's a bit gay. Anyway, you're half Armenian. Those people, they need our support. We didn't support them when the Azeris came in and took over their half of their country. And now look what's happening to Israel. We should have gone in and we should have said, you can't do that. Anyway, so who's your brother? Who's this wife of 24, Daddy Bannister? 8 eggs raw this morning. I had 7 in the afternoon. I skipped my breakfast. Yes, 8 raw eggs. Amazing. Milk tray. Yes, I had a milk tray. And I mean, but I've been walking like 15,000 steps a day, so I'm not gaining too much weight. The right word is hypocrite. No, because I know that what I'm doing is wrong. If you know you're not supposed to smoke cigarettes, stop smoking cigarettes, everybody. Or at least you can't smoke cigarettes and be fat. You can't do both. Pick one and then try to eliminate the other one. Claire, I'm going to write that down. Oh, thank you, Lucy. I'm going to read that again. But who is she your wife? The 24. Okay. I know, bro. Okay. Yes, Judah. GB headliner, follow GB headliner, follow you now. What does that mean? Cigarette or fat? Okay, let's do a test. Cigarette? Are you smoking cigarettes, or are you fat? Because or carbs? You can't do both, because the carbs and the fat makes the cancer grow. So you can't do it. What night did you say what your name came from? I ate chips today. Sometimes it's hard to resist. Let me say this about chips. Every single day, it's hard to resist chips. Chips are so good. They're so good. They're fat and salt. You put a little vinegar or ketchup on it, and they're fried, and they're warm and soft, and they're so good. Joe Sanders, cigarettes, not fat. Okay. Well, let's work on the cigarettes. Okay. Let's work on the cigarettes. We're going to stop that. So, what am I saying? Should we finish this thing? I shouldn't ask if we should finish it because I might want to talk about it some more. What does what to know I mean? Hey, Jay, how are you? Jay's a very funny comedian. He's up there in Birmingham. Where are you performing next, Jay? Jay, he says he's loving the new podcast. That means something because he's a proper comedian. Keep at it, man. Hopefully we'll see you on the circuit soon. I hope so. If there still is a circuit. Not that I was ever on the circuit. Okay. So I'm getting a text message. I can't speak to you. So that's my friend Simone, who's from Italy, and is from Italy. And the Italians know food. But he didn't eat great food. I don't. Detest the smell of smokers because we've been told smoking is bad for you. And it's not as bad as you think it is, but it is bad. It's really bad in combination of sugar. That fat is bad. Sugar, I don't mean fat, I mean being fat. Actually eating fat is not bad. Wotan, like the king of the gods in the north. You told me this. And the music bit is a bit music bits is I compose a bit. Okay, you're a composer. Wotan is a king of the gods in the North legends. Okay, I'm not against that. They're on our team. Well, they should be on our team. Or fish finger sandwiches, Lewis. What was the question? I skipped a bit. Chips and fish fingers are fab. Yeah. Unfortunately, here's how you work. First of all, you write down everything on an app, and then you see what you're eating, and then you try to cut all the white starchy, you call them vegetables, plants, potatoes, rice, those things. So weird that smoking was cool in all black and white films in the 1940s and beyond, blaming them. Well, you want to know something? You can blame them. Not just them. I mean, it was when America took over, right? And they especially during World War I, they gave out cigarettes to everybody. And they had all of the great publicity people and all advertising people pushing cigarettes. And that's why we're in a bad state today, because by the 1950s, all these soldiers like Eisenhower, who became president, were having heart attacks and getting sick. And people they didn't want to blame the cigarettes because they thought the cigarettes were healthy. It was a British people who said, wait a second, people are dying from cigarettes. My father worked for the American Machine and Foundry, AMF. They did the bowling balls, the bowling lanes. They did everything. And they bought a company that made cigarette machines that actually rolled cigarettes. And I would tell my father, you work for a company that's killing people, because I was annoying even back then. Weed was better then. Yeah, it wasn't as mentally fractious anyway. But what was I saying? I was saying, and I tell my father, and because he was being paid by the American Machine and Foundries, AMF, which was a huge American industrial company. It was a conglomerate. They made everything. They made rocket launchers, every bit of bicycles, bowling balls, bowling alleys, yachts. They made everything. And he said, no, Lewis. And I should have been more grateful because he was paying my way through uni. He was doing this. He was doing that. God bless my father. Lovely guy. He was a good guy. Yes, exactly. Lucy, Freud's nephew, Ernst Bernays. Torches of Freedom. He was the guy who was basically he was taking Freud's thoughts. Should we eat gunpowder? What should we do with gunpowder, Daddy? So, okay, so what am I saying? We're trying to get everybody to look at food differently. We're going to make sure we count the calories, Second thing, we replace starches with meat and eggs. That's how I'm doing it. Am I doing it? Okay. And that's what we do. And that's how we lose weight. That's how we get carbs out of our body. That's how we get thin. That's how Louis Schaffer, you come to my house and you're thin. I say, come right in. I do you. You do count. Claire counts the calories. She does. She does. You can tell she does, because you can't smoke. You can't smoke and you can't eat carbs at the same time. Okay. Before cigarette taxes, everybody was happy and thin. I think cigarette taxes came after that, but yeah, they want to make money off of us because they want us to produce money. And when we can't produce money, they have this eugenics, whatever they're doing now, where they want people to die. Okay. Beef lasagna right here in Laos. You're in Laos. Do they have beef lasagna there? Is that a Laotian dish? Wow, it's great that you're there in Laos. I hear it's you're not on the water, so it could be a bit hot. Could it be a bit hot there in Laos? Okay. Couldn't eat meat, not for ethical reasons. I don't like the taste or the texture. Why don't you try like Louis Schaffer? Eat it raw. Just take a piece and just take a little bit. I didn't start out eating raw meat. I never even ate my meat medium rare. I ate it practically well done. Not air fryers. We're not cooking it. We're not cooking it. A Portsmouth expat living in Laos. In Laos, I don't know if the people are nice there. I don't know what they are. The Laotians. I know in the war, the country was made a mess by the Vietnamese coming across, by America being involved. Sir Walter Raleigh, he was such a stupid git. Cigarettes actually are an all right drug. Basically, they're one of the few drugs. I'm not promoting cigarettes, but it actually makes you focus more and calms you down. There are very few drugs that do both of those things. Anybody know about this? Like most drugs, they can make you focus, but they make you all wired, like cocaine or stuff like that. Nicotine calms you down. And you know who supports, what's his name, supports nicotine? I'm not going for nicotine. But it's not if you smoked less, I think you could probably live a long life. My father used to have a joke. He used to say, if you smoke cigarettes for 100 years, you're going to live long, basically. So is it maybe let me see what's going on Twitter and see maybe anybody. We're 48 people at Twitter, on Twitter. Maybe we had 60 yesterday, and I'm thinking I'm a failure because we had 60. Let me see what people are saying on Twitter. I don't know. I don't know. Is anybody writing it? I'm sure you very have. Oh, yes, here's some people. Let's see what anybody's saying. People really like the show, which is really great to know. Beatles reference, Lewis. What's the Beatles reference? She's smoking. What's the Bond and bikinis? Is that Laos? Warren Foster's. Hey, good to see you. Welcome back. I think this is your first time you're coming back. If you're listening, come in and tell us where just say you're here and where you're living. It's Friday, Lewis, and it's pub o'clock. Yeah, that's true. That's true. We should be at the pub. So what should we do? Should we continue to have it? Thank you, Warren Foster, for coming in. Where are you from, Warren? It's his first time. Everybody out there, welcome Warren Foster for coming. Where are you from? 7 a.m. or 11 a.m. But the problem is, this is good because we can do this and we can go out afterwards, or something else can happen. You're in Warsaw. That's where I'm from. Is that a joke, Warren Foster? Is that a joke? West Midlands. I know exactly where Warsaw is. If you go to my Wikipedia page, you'll see Warsaw mentioned. That is really great. Yeah, I know it very well. Warsaw is, what did Warsaw, did they make belts in Warsaw? They made something in Warsaw. What did they used to make there? Bo said, we're saying hello, Warren. Hello, Warren. It's the West Midlands. It's the West Midlands. But I switched difficult to find, easy. What does that mean? The leather trade. Yeah, the leather trade. That's when this country used to make stuff. But we've been basically destroyed by the globalists because they said, well, let's take the factory outside the country and let's keep our secrets. Let's give our secrets to other people. It's going to happen eventually, but I think Britain and America has been destroyed by the globalists. And they sit there and say, oh, we care about you. We care about people. You do not. And then they've inundated the country, which destroys their country. Hi, everyone. Warren. You're a Midlands girl, but you're in Portsmouth, but you're a Midlands girl. What town in Midlands are you from, Joe Sanders? Because that's what Warren is from, the Midlands. Nicotine can help ward off Alzheimer's if you take it up later in life. It's probably true because it's got nicotine, which has nicotinic acid, whatever it's got. What is the thing? I forget what the thing. I've lost my mind. Yeah, we need to take care of ourselves. Every one of us. We can only care about ourselves because they don't care about us. And the scariest thing is you always look at the left and they think, oh, we care about you. They don't care about us. They don't even care about themselves. Everything gets destroyed by the globalists, Lewis. Yes, they do. I hate to say it. They do. I was a globalist for a lot of years. Okay. And then I became I realized there was a problem in the 1980s. But I've only been a globalist. You're not a globalist because you need to think about it. I lived in California for a year. Ivor Robotnik. You've done this before. Where in the East Midlands are you, Ivor Robotnik? Okay. I lived in there. Okay. And Watanabe is from Yeovil. That's where my yogurt's from. It's nice down there. It's really nice down there. Sheepskin and leather town, which used to be, and not now. They don't want people to work. They don't want, it's like when you see a white guy, and I mean this in a broad way, a British guy working on, and you can be black and British, black and English, whatever, working on the streets. You think, well, that's weird, but that's the way it should be. Mass immigration. I mean, I benefited from mass immigration. Lynn Carson's, I'm in Dunoon at the moment, near Loch Eck in Argyll and Butte. That's down there. The town of Butte was founded by the guy from Butte, Lord Butte. Lewis got Lassie's brain in a jar. You got Lassie's brain in a jar. What does that mean? I don't understand all. Remember, I've only been here 25 years. I don't speak English perfectly. I don't speak English perfectly. Britain is still the eighth manufacturing country in the world. Oh yeah, there you go. But we could still be number one. We could still be number one. But when you've got the taxes this high, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. So that's this. So let's talk about the show last night, which is important to me. And I'd like to ask if you have any agony aunt questions. I would like that. Agony aunt questions. Nobody asked an agony aunt questions last time. Nobody asked. Maybe Lucy has a problem. Okay. Warsaw Town Center has gone to the dogs, unfortunately. Well, you could say that for a lot of England. Like here in Nunhead, it's very good. I walk around, I clean the streets myself. That's what we should do. I get my exercise. You're from Derby. I performed in Derby, the Derby Town Hall, great place. Is that I liked your comments about the Iran thing, but you kept getting interrupted. Hello, by the way. Hello, Mr. Croxton. I don't think I was interrupted, but maybe I was. But somebody needs to say that the Iranians have been saying death to America, death to Britain, death to Israel, death to the Jews for way too long. And you need to be taught to be loving. You need to be taught to be loving. Black and English. Some would disagree. I don't disagree. I think you can be English. I think because the English people aren't even English. You got people who are 100% Welsh background or Cornish background. So, if you love the country, I'm not to say my kids Their mother is Scottish. I'm American. Are they English? I think they feel English. Maybe once upon a time, no. But right now, yes. That's a very good question. I tell the truth. I think what's for 46 years, I'm not saying we should kill people. We got to be nice and loving to people. But the Iranians have gotten away with murder. They promoted the Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, their own actions. They've been giving money to everybody. All the trouble in this, I'm not saying all the trouble, but they're paying for all the evil mosque tenders here in this country. My parents were Irish, but I was born here in the UK. Right. What team do we support? When England is on TV, we have to support England. When England is playing, when the UK is playing America in football, I support them because it means more to them than it does to America. But we have to fight for England, and we have to fight for Britain and the Angles and the Saxons and the Jutes. Okay, but so that's what Iran means. We can't let them have atomic bombs, and we can't pretend that the war is just Israel. Israel is doing the world's dirty work right now. Okay. They're doing the world's dirty work. And nobody is supporting Iran except for a bunch of, I'm not going to say who, except for a bunch of losers in this country, leftist losers. Chris Dobson, good to see you back. So that's really good. Mick, where is Mick from? Should you pop spots? That's actually, I did. No, you shouldn't pop spots. This is not a spot. This is from shaving yesterday. So it's not really that. You should not. You should. That's how your skin gets bad. You should let the pops. What if America has spots and America has zits, and a zit is a spot that has not been popped. And what happens is people will pop. They'll rub a spot and they'll put a hole in their face. So that's a very important concern. Be beautiful. Do not rub yours. If you have a spot, don't pop it. Just let it be. And if you're young enough, you're lucky. I'm 68 years old. I don't get any spots. So, because I'm old. So don't pop the spots. I'm English, married to a Scotsman living in Scotland. I support Scotland when they're playing in a way my husband won't support England. Yes, because we're the bigger country. We're a big country, so you can't be too picky about what team you support. But we have to remember, we have to support our home where we're living now. Am I sounding too racist, really? Mick, let it be. Where are you? What does it mean, let it be? Thumbs up. Yeah, let the spot be. Where are you from, Mick? Feels good when you pop. It does feel good when you pop a spot. But you might wake up with a hole in your head, with a hole in your skin. It might grow. It might get infected a bit if we believe in infected. Okay. Is that the same clipboard from the GB set? Oh, you mean this thing in the back here? No, this is the big one that I have. I left the other one there. This one can go on, I think. I think it can go on. I don't know. Can it go on? I don't know. Can it go on? Anyway, this is a big one. But this is where you should go. We have 50 people, so we're back up to 50. Can you do me a favor? Can you subscribe? It doesn't cost anything, and it means a lot to me. And you get where you'll get notices. You don't have to get. I'm trying to get 1,000 people at first. Do you have a locker for your stuff at GB News? No, I don't. I'm lucky I'm allowed inside. I'm still uncooked. I'm undercooked and uncooked. I don't have a locker. But nobody. There's a rail there, and I put this. I have a bag, and nobody messes with it. I don't think. Nobody messes with it. I haven't got a zit, but I've got a bite on my face from being outside last night. Just leave it. Warren, I've spent my entire life scratching myself. When I was a kid, my legs were covered in scratches, and I don't do it that much. Beautiful treatment from Lewis. Paul Morris says, if there was a football match between the Picts and the Cumbrians, who would you support? Both sides eat raw brisket at halftime. It's a good question. I don't know. It depends if Sam Allardyce is the manager. If he's the manager, I'd support whoever team he's coaching. Can I have the small clipboard you left at GB News, maybe for a birthday present? Perhaps, perhaps. I mean, I probably might, but I don't know. Thank you for asking. Stay away from them stray dogs, Warren Foster. Okay. I don't understand that. Where is Mick from? Did you tell us where you're from? It doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm not asking any questions. I'm not trying to be a busybody because you'll think, oh, you don't like me because I'm from that place. You know? Okay. That's reserved for Lucy. Laugh out loud. Could be. I don't know. I'm Scottish and I always support the home nations. Uh, get get stick here for backing England. Don't care though. Yes. Support the home nations. That's what's great about football. If I see a Manchester United fan and I'm in London, screw those people. Support your home team. Support Charlton, Fulham, Crystal Palace. Okay. If you leave a bag at GB News, someone might plant Klaus Schwab's book in it. Yeah, maybe not because he's been. They've look at how they've killed Klaus Schwab. What did he do wrong? What did he do wrong, Klaus Schwab? You know. Does saying Aunt Lucy make Lucy's thing light up there? Exactly. I said Lynn Carson also supports the home nations, so we support the home nations. What football is on for the rest of the year? We've got the whatchamacallit, the club things. A couple of years ago, they found the Einstein tile, endless pattern, 13 sides. Could be the first studio with that in neon. The Einstein tile. I never heard of that. I don't really trust anything that Einstein says. Einstein tile. I don't trust anything. He thinks that light is a proton is a thing. It's not a thing. There's no light dust. If light was a thing, when you turn off the light, there'd be like dust from the light. There isn't. I asked for the clipboard early. Send it to Laos. Can the mail actually be delivered to Laos? How advanced is Laos? I know it's not as prosperous as Vietnam, but it could be. I like ceramic tile. I like ceramic tiles that are colorful. Yeah, my bathroom doesn't have that. Einstein was a fluke, and his wife did most of the maths. Quite possible he wasn't that nice to his wife. He basically was like Louis Schaffer with women at that time. He said to his wife, "Can you leave me alone? I'm Albert Einstein. If you divorce me, I'll give you my Nobel Peace Prize." He actually knew he was going to win a Nobel Peace Prize. Can you imagine saying that to a girl? I'm going to win the Nobel Prize within 2 or 3 years. And if you divorce me, I'll give you that. I don't know. Photon, right, exactly, is not a proton. Okay. Who did the decorating? My wife's dad did the decorating. Yeah. Photon. He did the decorating. He did a really nice job. And then he died. He had a heart attack and died. Lovely guy. Okay. Okay. I'm going to start to cry. I'm starting to cry. Can you see this? This is Rose's dad. Lovely guy. Dave the Tyler. He did my bathroom. I've got to paint it. I've got to do stuff. I've got to come up to the West Wickham tomorrow. Meet me for a carbohydrate beer. Where is West Wickham? It's not near here. West Wickham is down south, right? I go down there a lot. Lynn says, bless Lewis. If most of dust is dead skin, why is a long, inhabited house so dusty? Because the world is filled with. That's a good question. That's another good question by Lucy. Here's the thing, Lucy. If you're going to ask these questions, you got to do the research. You got to know the answer to. What is the answer? Better here. Come up for a bra. Oh, up in, yeah. I mean, I don't really like beer that much, but I've had a couple. A cold beer really is like amazing. I've had a couple lately. It's got carbs and alcohol. Lucy, 100% right. Why is that? You should get a neon sign. What would it be? Paul Paul Cox has a neon sign. Yeah, he's working it. He's working it. He's a good guy too. I loved working with him. And then that guy came in and says, "No, you can't work with Paul Cox anymore." It's like, what are you, out of your mind? Yeah, he's out of his mind. Lucy, you have to go on the show with Lewis. She will come on the show with me. Love that question, Lucy. Why is, if most dust is dead skin, why is an uninhabited house that's been sealed filled with dust? Because the world is filled with dead skin. The world, yes. It's a pretty good question. These are the kind of questions that I think about, to prove them wrong. And it's like, what's his name? Albert Einstein says photon and the split, whatever it is, the split photon experiment, all that stuff, the light. He was making it up. And because he was a German and a Jew, right after World War I, and people wanted to let, this is according to this, I've heard this before, they wanted to let the Germans back into Team World. So they said, hey, we like Albert Einstein, and this Albert Einstein's new thinking. Good, you agree with Mr. Crockett? No way, Andrew. What don't you agree with? Mick, my mate's dad drove a Photon in the 1990s. What kind of car was a Photon? Who made a Photon? Yes, Lumber, says Joodles. Come on, I dare you, Lucy. He's daring you to do something. Let's find out why that is. That's a good question. It's a Ford Photon. Yeah, because of the F thing, but they couldn't make it I guess they ran out of Fs. I had a Ford Falcon years and years ago. That's how old I am. And it was that old car even when I got it over 40 years ago. So I was on the show last night with, what's his name? With Patrick Christie, and he's really nice. And he sets a very nice tone. Is it headliners? No, it is not headliners. Headliners are three comedians or people trying to be comedians who want to be funny. But even they didn't, a lot of times we did not do a good job because we thought we should have to be funny. We just thought we had to be serious. I'm not sure Louis Schaffer could afford you. I can't afford any woman. Can you afford me, Lucy? You're going to have to pay for Louis Schaffer. You think I'm making money on this world? No. Is that so it's not headliners. Headliners were trying to be funny, but they were, the last year, the show was not funny enough, and it could have been more funny. And maybe if I was funnier, but I was like totally overwhelmed by the Israel thing. How can we do a show? And we're the guy who was writing the stories, choosing the stories, we're choosing all horrible, serious things. So I went Motor Mouth as neon sign. Okay. Lewis, about it in a Volkswagen school. What does that mean? I actually owned a Volkswagen. I owned a 412 years and years ago. Volkswagens were really great cars. And I owned that was in America. I owned a Volkswagen in America, and I owned a Volkswagen here. I don't even remember the names. This is how old I am. I don't remember what the cars are. I guarantee you they're not a Mercedes. They're one of the cheapest ones. You made it headliners last night, Lewis, with one comic. Yeah, but that's because Patrick allowed me to. He didn't step on me. He was great. Patrick is great. I mean, I don't know whether he'll be great the next time. I don't know when I'll be on again. Okay, but I cannot afford Lucy, no. And Lucy cannot. Maybe I hope she can afford me. Too many serious news stories the past year and whatever, since October 7th. It was too still. We know what that story is. We don't need to have that all the time. Okay, I'm sure Lewis can afford you a box of milk tray. I hope that's not all it takes, is a box of milk tray. Because I don't want anybody bought out by food. I want someone to say no to the food. Headliners tried to force too many stories through and did not allow enough time for the good stories. Exactly right. We had too many stories, like 15, 19 stories. And the fact is, every one of these comedians, you just need one story. You just give them a word and they'll go for an hour and we'll fight over an hour. I don't know. It was so unnecessary. It's just a waste. I'm obsessed with this. But it was too many stories, and they didn't do any of the stories that Louis Schaffer or you might have found interesting. Yeah, we could discuss it occasionally, but a lot of times we weren't really discussing it. A box of milk tray for Lucy to appear on your podcast, Lewis. I'm not gonna buy a girl with a box of chocolate. I mean, of course I would do that. I mean, it's only a box of chocolate, but she wouldn't eat milk tray anymore. It's gone to I guess that's the word I say, shite, whatever. I like the station wagon in the 80s. Well, I had a station wagon in the 80s, and I had a Volkswagen. It was like just so much fun to drive around New York. Those Yanks destroyed Cadbury. Did they? I remember when they were buying it. When did they buy it? Well, did they destroy it? But Volkswagens was a really good car. They've destroyed Volkswagens from what I can hear. It was like an amazing car, Volkswagen. It was like my car I own was like so old, and they destroyed it. Okay. I'm literally laughing out loud now. Why are you laughing out loud, Andrew? How you doing, Lewis? Zingo is back. Well, you should have come on time, Zingo. Okay. Mondelez, is that yeah, Kraft bought it. And it was a proper brand. It was a proper brand. And you know what the problem is? The problem is like American chocolate. It's not real chocolate the way you have it here. It's still real chocolate here. Jay Evans, Jews Canoe. They replaced the cocoa with sugar. It's all minging now. Yeah. Volkswagen Juice Canoe. I don't know what I had. It wasn't the canoe. It was there were small cars. I always wanted a Jetta. Not a Jetta, a GTI. Kleine GTI, a GTI, a Volkswagen. I wanted one of those things. I never got one of those things. Some German motors produced in Hungary, cheaper energy. Yeah, well, we've got the most expensive energy in all of the world, I think, don't we really? Have you seen the LVMH Wikipedia and how many companies they own? Shocking. Yes, it is shocking. But someday they'll go bankrupt and every one of those are going to be sold. Okay. Most chocolate is rank now. I don't know what's happened. Well, I think what has happened? They've replaced the chocolate oils with sugar because people don't like oils. Oil's been reduced. They're not adding as much cocoa butter, and they're adding rapeseed oil, those horrible oils. Louis Vuitton meets Hennessy. Yes, LM. No, that's Moet, not meets Hennessy. Right, that's the name. That guy, I think, is one of the richest guys in the world. And look at the handbags they make. They're made in China. Warren Foster. I read that some American chocolate is made from sour milk. Is that bad? The sour milk is bad. I know the chocolate is not as good as it is here in this country. And it's not as good as maybe it's not as good as it used to be because we're all older. A lot of us are older. What do you think about that? I love a Lindt bunny, Andrew. Yeah, she's a lover. She's a lover, this Lucy. You can just tell she's a lover. She's a lover. Yeah, Lindt is one of those amazing brands of chocolate. First of all, chocolate is not good for you. It's made, anything that's made with crushed seeds is not good for you. And that includes anything made of wheat and whatever, basically. I love Mr. Crocs. Says, I love a Playboy bunny. Very funny. That's very funny. If you see something funny, write down funny. That's funny. A Lindor Truffles. What is a Lindor Truffles? Cadbury chocolate is too sweet now. Yeah, this was very sweet. It has butyrate, which has a vomit taste or smell. Well, don't you have, in keto, doesn't that raise your butyric acid levels? Isn't that the same thing? You should invite Dominic Frisby, an anti-seed oil expert. Can I just say something to Dominic Frisby? I personally love Dominic Frisby. And I would say, whether he's one of my closest friends in this country, he is one of my closest friends. He's not as good a friend as I would like him to be. I'd like to see him all the time. But he's a pretty good friend. And But who got Dominic Frisby involved in his diet, in his losing weight, in his seed oil stuff? Louis Schaffer. I've been doing this for 8 years, 7 years, since 2019. I've been eating carnivore. Before that, I was eating carb. Okay. I was driving, so I missed the whole show. Well, luckily, it's going to be on tape, basically. South London lad. Where is Louis Schaffer? He's in Nunhead right now. Okay. Chocolate is the same as it always has been. Same as ecstasy when I was younger, but better. Okay, maybe. You are my closest friend, Louis Schaffer. Okay. Okay. Don't try to borrow money from me, but yeah, that's very nice of you. You know, you never know who your friends could be or need to be or can be. You don't know how you can get a friend, you know? I mean, what's amazing is I've lived in this country 25 years. I now have old friends in this country. Okay. Also, you know, it's good to have friends. And I always abandoned friends. I never kept my friends. And so if you're my friend, like I've got a few friends, my friend Doug, my friend Russ, my friend Dan in New York, my friend here, Paul, lots of friends, even people I'm not even naming their names. Okay, so what did Lucy say? Did he marry Barry? Who married Barry? Okay, Hershey's is the one with the sour smells of dick. Yes, do you want to know why that is? That's because it's made with, you know, that horrible oils that they put in there. Never allow seeds oil in my house. Mark, I'm with you. There is no seed oil in this house. Who married Lucy? Who married Barry? I'll give you money. Who will you give money? Make sure you put a name there. Shanks, tape. Yeah, it's on tape. Did I say tape? It's recorded. It's going to go out there. So Joodles sent me a picture of herself. You all could send me pictures of yourself, except if you don't want to. I'm thinking of starting a comedy night down south. Would you be a regular, semi-regular? I'll come in and do one thing. You ask me to do it. I'll come in there. Okay. Lucy, sick. Haha. What does that mean? Did he marry sick? What does that mean? Did he marry Barry? I'd buy a fridge magnet. What for a girl? Yeah, to remind her that she needs to be in the kitchen. Mick, but you shouldn't need to be in the kitchen because I spend so little time in there. I got the refrigerator and I eat the food raw. Joodles is laughing at Lucy, but what is she laughing at? Yes, Lucy. People are laughing at Lucy. Do you think autism can be cured? Yes. It depends at what age you notice it. Autism, you know, well, this is a very dangerous subject. Don't get angry at me if you've got a kid who's autistic. But there's people who are mentally retarded, who are not quite as smart. I got to be very careful about this. Very careful. They can call them autistic. When I think of autism, I think of people who have not gotten enough attention as a child. Okay. Oh, that song. I forgot. You know what it is? I can't keep track with you, Lucy. You're always like one step ahead of me. You know, but that's good. I just remind me what you're talking about. Each of your followers should be a guest. Yeah, maybe. I mean, although I'm enjoying this more, I mean, I love talking to Russ yesterday, but I enjoy this more. Anyway, what were we saying? We were saying about autism. My boy is autistic and it's great for him. I think children, I mean, it's so dangerous. I feel safer talking about Islam than this, is that children need a lot of attention. That's how they learn to communicate. That's how they learn to behave. They need a lot of attention. And if you don't give them a lot of attention, they can have erratic behaviors. They could be looking off in the distance. You know, they can be uncontrollable. So I say this: at whatever age, once you reach a certain age, it can be very hard, but we need to pay attention. We need to pay attention to each other. And that starts with children, with babies. Children have been let down with food and stuff. Yes. And we need to not feed them carbs. Carbs causes mental illness. It causes autism. It causes mental retardation. People who are fed carb diets are not as smart as people who are fed meat diets. So yes, yes, yes. We could talk about this some more. Autism is really important to me. And I'm not saying you've been a bad parent, okay, but I have a saying, the more time you spend with a baby, the less time you have to spend with an adult. The more time you take a little baby and you just stare in their faces and you let whatever they're doing, you mimic them and you laugh at them and you pay attention to them, the less time you're going to be visiting them in prison or with bad people or taking drugs, or the less time you're going to think, I need to keep an eye on this guy. That's what I believe. I'll talk about my own kids at a later time. A child before 7 and all of that. I'm even going to say a child before 1 and all of that. Am I a fan of Dave Allen? Yes, I am a fan of Dave Allen. Not a huge fan, but I have watched a lot of his videos. Didn't the Jesuits say that? Yes, that's for the big ideas before 7. But to get you to be interactive with your own child before 1, 2, 3 years old, it's really hard to do because you're told work is important and leave your kid with a childminders. That's so important, don't you think? Do you agree with me? Does anybody arguing with me? The person who has autism, who said that? Dominic could expand the flip-flop song. Dominic is so good. He comes up with all these great songs, and he's a lovely, lovely guy. He's a lovely guy. And his kids are great too. I used to go play with him and his kids. We used to take his kids all over the place. I've been to Wales with him. Okay, let's see. Daughter calling. See you tomorrow, Claire. You got to interact and look them in the eye and stuff you're saying. Yes, you do. Interact. It's so important. Child goes like this. You go like that. Child goes like this. You go like that. Child asks you a question. You answer the question like you answer. Still smoking. Kind of sorry, but not really. Stop smoking, Joe Sanders. Okay. I was a single parent and stop wearing glasses too. I was a single parent and only worked part-time. So spent loads of time with my daughter and did loads of things. It's definitely the carbs' fault. Could be the carbs' fault. I fed my kids carbs, but I wasn't, I tried to give them a balanced diet, but I did feed them big, and I cooked food, no raw food with me. And now, yeah. No, you are right. Internet and connected. Yes, internet and a connected 24-hour world has ruined a lot of things. Yes, it's caused autism. Did the whatchamacallit, the vaccine or cause autism? I don't think it did. Okay, loads. I shouldn't say this because I'm calling some of you people bad parents. Paul says, very good advice, sir. Honest answer from me at once. Okay. Thank you for saying that, Paul. Visible Sun, where are you from? It's a mix of food diet and poor parenting. Additive preservatives and processed food has fucked, a few generations now. You know what it is? People who feed their kids additives and preservatives and processed foods also can let kids down in a million other ways. So it's not a causal thing. It's as I call them cars, they're correlation. It's just that if you feed your kids lots of additives, you're probably not giving them a proper sit-down meal, which means you're not spending enough time with them. Okay. So Armitage, good luck with your kid. How old is your kid? Even if your kid is older, you got to just spend a lot of time and look them in the eye. You got to hit them in the head if they're acting crazy. You just say, stop acting crazy. You're not that way. No. Okay. No, you're right. Okay. Does anyone remember Kelly Monteith? Well, he was an American who came here, and yeah, he was proper funny. Yeah, I think he was. He wasn't as big in America as he was here. Love and attention, proper food, schools that have a calm regime. Too many school bullies and herd children like cattle. I'm against schools. I believe in homeschooling up until the time the kids are 5, 7 years old. Or maybe even older. Let them go to school with other kids and have their parents right there. Lewis, have you read The Body Keeps the Score? No, I haven't. Should I read that? The Body Keeps the Score, according to Joodles. The body keeps the score. We want to blame small little things. That's very Western. We want to blame germs and bacteria. And, we want to blame, he had a vaccine and it gave him this, he gave him that. And she's 15 now, and we have a much better diet now. Yeah, because you're probably paying attention to her. Because every time you're saying, hey, I want you to eat this, you're saying, I love you. That's what food does. I love you. I love you all, but I need to go, say Mr. Croxton. Okay, definitely read it. Bessel van der Kolk. Bessel van der Kolk. Let's look that up. Bessel van der Kolk. Okay, we'll look that book. Has anybody else read that? Okay, maybe I'll try to read it. I mean, I really have a hard time. My mom said to me, Dave, this Lud says this, Dave, be honest. I've been a good parent. I said, my name's John. My name's John. That's funny. Yeah, because, I wasn't the parent the first time, and I actually read tons and tons of books. I read tons of books. I read, what's the book called? I forget the book's called. I can't even remember the book. Wait 1 second. I'll tell you what the names of the books are. All right, we'll find the book later. Her name is Ford. What's Gina Ford? Gina Ford. I'm a believer in Gina Ford. Lud, very funny. There you go. Thank you, Marianne, coming from America, Peekskill. I eat fried eggs and bacon and a sausage every day, near enough, and I'm fit as. Yes. Big round of applause for Nick, for Mick, for eating that stuff. That's what I eat. Raw eggs. I had 7 runny eggs today. I mean, actually for lunch, because I didn't have breakfast. Tom's Midnight Garden is another good book. Visible Sun. Thank you, Visible Sun. Where are you from, Visible Sun? You told us the other day, but I forgot. Meat, veg, gravy 3 times a week. Banging. Still don't weigh more than 9.5 stone, which is bad because you're only 2 feet tall, so you are fat. No. How you interact with your baby absolutely shapes their entire future. I totally believe that. Okay, what is this here? This is, let's see. I missed a few, and I want to apologize for missing a few of these. So Linkar says, my son has Asperger's. Stay at home, mom, and attended lectures by Tony Atwood. We have coping strategy, but it will never go away. You know what? How old is he? How old is he, Lynn? How old is your kid? Yeah. He was only Lord, and nothing wrong with me. 43. Yeah. Well, I am. Laugh out loud. 5'9". I wish I was that thin. I'm 5'10". I weigh 12 stone. Newcastle. I love Newcastle. Been to Newcastle so many times. Probably more times in Newcastle than any other town in this country. But will it ever go away? Do I believe in Asperger's? No, I do not. I mean, you're not going to like me. What am I going to do? I want you to be all on the same team as Lewis, but we can't all agree. Right? No. Only Lewis would do this. What's the best part of the show? Is Lud, what is the best part of the show? And Lucy laughed at that. Tom's Midnight Garden is another book. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, we have to live. We don't want to believe that we're bad parents. I myself was a bad parent because I divorced the mother of my children, and I stopped loving her, and I stopped giving her love, and we were separated, and I didn't see my children as much as I should have seen them, and they didn't feel as much love, and Are they all right? I love my kids so much. They are all right. Are they, could they be better? Whatever that means. The answer is yes. They could have been better. They could have been better. They could have been better. Mick has a hyper metabolism. I don't believe you. I think you're just probably more running around than hardworking, Mick. I believe we need to be loving to each other. Do we not need to be loving to each other? We need to understand women more, and women need to understand more men more. And I could have been so much more loving to my wife, but she said, "You don't love me. I don't want you around." And so, I tried to stay as around as I could. And you're a manual laborer. Yeah, well, there you go. That's good. That's good for your health. I don't agree with you, but that's okay. Discussion is the way forward. Yeah. Yeah. Discussion is the way forward. I mean, I was really cruel to people, telling, you think I'm bad. I'm saying you're fat. I used to tell people they were bad parents. I thought I knew everything. I was like such a know-it-all. And I hurt people's feelings a lot. And I was from America, so you can imagine. And I'm from New York. I'm this guy telling people that that they're raising their kids wrong, and I regret doing that. And so I apologize. I apologize to Britain for the first 25 years, 20 years of my 25 years here. I apologize to you. Okay. Do you have anybody want to apologize to me? I was a single mom and gave my son to his father when he was 13, just after my mom died. Not being bleak, just honest. You know what? In the Muslim faith, the women have the child for the first 7 years, and then then the father's in control. But not that the father wants to be in control, and they have so many children anyway. Yeah, things can work. You know what? People are doing what's best. Unfortunately, the big state doesn't want us to have children. They don't want us to take care of children. They want us working so that we produce, so that we pay taxes, and then they can kill us. And they don't want us with our kids. They want schools so they can put people to work to brainwash us. I'm against it. America knows best. Free speech should be protected. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, obviously, yes. Not everybody believes that. Even people at GB News don't believe that, but a lot do. Okay, that explains everything, Lewis. The know-it-all thing. Now, when you say things, you must automatically check yourself to see if you're being arrogant, and then you contradict yourself just in case. Not just in case. It's I say things, these make sense to me, but there are exceptions to things. Yeah, I mean, am I arrogant? Yeah, I'm a bit arrogant, but I'm not totally arrogant because I've made mistakes. I look back at my life, and I've made mistakes. I made mistakes. It was called kind of sharing, but still felt a bit crap about it. Just saying, that's because you gave the kid 13. He probably wanted to be with his dad. You did the right thing by doing that. You're depressing Mick. How am I depressing Mick? He's 5'9". He weighs like 12 pounds. He looks fantastic. Am I depressing Mick? What did I say to Mick that depressed him? What? Why? Because he says he's a manual laborer? Has anyone got any good news? You don't know. He could be making a joke. This is good news. The good news is we take care of our kids. And if they're 13 years old, you can still pay attention to them. Team World wants us to live like worker ants or bees, obedient, productive for them, and then dead. 2030. Yes, exactly right. And if we don't die, they want to be able to kill us. That whole thing is horrible. Okay. So, any other questions? No one asked an agony aunt question. Should you have given your son to the dad at 13? I think it would have been better if you'd found a way to get back together with him, to maybe invite him to live in your home, find a way to be loving, say you're sorry, hope he could say he's sorry to you. It all starts with I'm saying I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Britain. I mean, I meant well. I didn't hate this country. I meant well. I didn't love it as much as I love it now. You get used to it. But I'm sorry. We need to say we're sorry. We need to love each other, No, you didn't want him in your house. Is that what you're saying, Joe? I look at the mother of my children. I was like so angry at her, and I mean really angry. I mean, I wasn't. She thought I was going to kill her. I wasn't going to kill her, but I was like really angry. But Joe, sometimes you have to do what is right at the time, and that takes courage. No, it doesn't take courage, because if it's right, you just do it. You say, you know what, it doesn't take any courage. Would you experiment with animal DNA to improve your body? The answer to the question is, by eating meat, that's animal DNA. So I am experimenting. Would I take, if someone gave me a shot of animal DNA? The answer is no, I would not do that. There's enough nice food out there, basically. Would you agree? Like a mutant? No, I wouldn't agree with it. You need to send us off on an uplifting note. Okay, well, what do you think has been uplifting today? I'm trying to be uplifting. I'm saying we have hope. I'm going to give you my own child. When my own child was a baby, I'm not going to say which one, but I thought he was autistic. I actually thought that. I paid $34 to buy a book on autism, and that was about $120 today, maybe. Okay, $120 today. Okay, and I just thought I've got to pay attention to him, and I paid attention to him, and I would wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I would just pay attention to him all day long, and I had no comedy going on then. It was like nothing, and now my children are beautiful, beautiful children. Okay, I'm not going to say which one that was, because you'd say, which one were you concerned about, Lewis? That's the amazing thing. So that's an uplifting thing. We need to pay attention to people, and because it works. Is that good enough, Lucy? No, she doesn't think that's good enough. Well, what did we discuss today? We discussed autism today. All right. We discussed autism. We discussed last night with Patrick, not really, autism. We discussed Russ, mentioned Einstein, gayness, not really. Okay, not really. But we've discussed a lot of different things. Listen, I want to thank everybody for signing in. Before we go, I think we're all done for tonight. I think we're done. I could stay longer. I think I hope I haven't depressed anybody. Say something nice, Lucy. Say what I should send you off on. Here's a nice thought. You think you're not doing the right thing, okay? You are doing the right thing. Try to do the right thing. You're doing the right thing by listening to me. I'm trying to do the right thing. Iran is here is the thing. You're doing the right thing to me. You've brought me so much happiness through this podcast. If not, I mean, it's been a success because you've listened to me, and I haven't, I've really enjoyed talking to each one of you. Okay. And I don't judge. I do judge. I don't judge you, but I don't judge you because you're trying your best, and we're living in a bright future. Okay. When are we on next? We're on next. Should we be on at 5 o'clock tomorrow? What else am I doing? I guess we'll be on at 5 o'clock tomorrow. But if you sign up to the whatchamacallit up here, if you sign up to the to subscribe, you'll get a message. So we might be on at 1, might be on at 2 tomorrow Sunday. GB News should invite GB News viewers onto the show. Yeah, well, they did. There was a GB viewer on today on one of the shows, and he was quite articulate. What a shame poor people always die on all sides. That's sad. Yeah. I mean, the world isn't that good, so, we shouldn't be murdering anybody either. Okay, so we are doing the right thing, and hopefully Iran will turn out okay. I feel bad for the Ayatollah and those people because they believe in what they're doing, but they start every day. Their flag says, death to America, death to Britain, death to Israel, death to the Jews, and they're not that happy about the Christians either. Okay, well, thank you very much. Lucy doesn't mind. I don't mind what Lucy talks about either. Okay, and I don't mind anybody. Rory, I've got to go. So we're going to go. This is the last show. Subscribe. Thank you, Mark. Bye-bye, Rory. Thank you, audience. If you want to send me a text message, you can go, I'm not a text message, a Twitter message at Louis Schaffer on Twitter or X. That's an exclamation point. Louis Schaffer, Twitter or X. Okay. Okay. Good to see you, May. Thank you, Warren. I hope to see you again. Thank you very much for coming in. Say hello to my family in Warsaw. And I mean that. That's not true, but I mean it. And Derek Haddow. Thank you, everybody. And we're off to do the right thing, which is to love women, and for men to, and for women to love men. Let's love each other. That's my goal. All right. I'm signing off. It's time to go.